Hello Peter, this is my screencast for our ICA3 sound implementation project. First of all, I just want to apologise if there's any background noise. I have a full house today, and hopefully it won't be a problem, but there may be some background noise. Okay, first of all as well, actually I'm using Screencast-O-Matic for this, because my open broadcast software won't work with a full window capture. It'll only work with a full monitor capture. It only works with like individual windows. So the sound picked up on this won't be as good as it should be, because it's actually just picking up. It's not actually picking up what's playing. It's only picking it up through the speakers and then like back into the mic again. So hopefully as well that won't be much of a problem. But I will record a proper playthrough and upload that to YouTube as well. So hopefully the two of them will work together. Anyway, so to start, I'll just have a quick play level and show you all the areas of the level and the sounds. So as we start off, the first thing you'll see is the music starts straight away. You can hear the wind, and you hear the hawk there in the background. It's like an ambient sound, which I'll get to in a minute, but that'll like randomly play the hawk, the wolves, and the bear sound. It'll just randomly play them through the level. So I'm going to play this as I imagine it should be played, and then obviously there's other people will play it a different way. So I pick up my sword and then have a look around the village. One of these things, we have this like camping fire here, and you can hear the crackling fire and bubbling water coming from it. So it's pretty nice. And the next things are over here that are important. So we have this like church, I'm calling it, or place of worship, and there's an ambient sound coming from it as well, which may or may not play because it's on like quite a decent delay. So you can kind of hear like chants or like kind of like harrowing moans coming from it. And then in the graveyard we have something similar, but it's kind of like a tormented soul sound is what I have here, and we can look at it as well in the blueprint in a minute. So you can hear that now. So that's pretty cool. This kind of ominous howl that comes from there, it kind of like goes very well with the music and the wind. Okay, so the next thing I want the player to do is just kind of explore until they find something. They're like, oh, here's a pathway that looks to be blocked with some sort of character down there and a big wall. So I know you said to try and draw the player in with sounds, but I'm kind of doing it visually. If you want to go to the big massive structure, that's where you're aiming to go. And the sounds are to kind of help with the entertainment value and immersiveness of the game. So we come across this path. The path is blocked, but we can hit it with the sword, and they will break sometimes. Actually, the blueprint is not working perfectly on the sword, and also I don't actually have to attack. As long as the sword hits something, it'll count as a hit. So yeah, we see them break, and obviously I have like kind of purposely exaggerated the sound of stuff exploding and breaking. I just thought it was nice, it's like the most important thing, so that's why we do that. So before I go into this next section, I'll just show you some of the character sounds. So the character jump, we have this little like grunt. Attack, there's a little grunt as well, and then there's a little bit of dialogue whenever you cast your spell. So it's really cool, obviously. So the sound on it is louder and more punchy than the other sounds because it's cool. Sorry for being so informal. Okay, right. So now we're ready to move on to the next section of the game, where we start heading towards this bear. And let's see, the music changes, it shows off the enemy, and now we have to fight him. So the bear will chase me, and if he hits me with his paws, oh, he accidentally hit himself off the sword. But right, so imagine I hit the bear and the bear died, like growls, he died. And then the same as the sword, if I walk into the bear's paws, I will get killed. And yeah, actually I'll just show you that. So I get killed, I fall down, break my back, and then the game is over. So run back in, I'll show you how it's supposed to go really quickly. I think 15 minutes is going to be a tight one. Oh, I forgot about this cinematic. Yeah, so you see as well, as the bear died, the intense music stopped again, and then it came back to this mellow, slow music. So I throw my sword, run towards the bear. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so these bits here where the ice is exposed, if you walk on that, your footsteps will change. So there's kind of like a clicky kind of sound. So one character is wearing these outrageous high heels. So that's that sound. That's the sound I imagine that would make stepping on ice, and also it could be the ice cracking beneath you. And then you go back into the sound, and you get this real rustly sound again. I'll just skip this. Hit to the bear. Dead, the intense music dies out, and then we move towards the castle, and that's the end of the game. And a game name comes up, just to say that we're moving on to the next section, or going into the loading screen or something. Okay, so first thing I'm going to look at is the character sounds. So if we open up an animation sequence, let's pause this. You can actually, in the animation sequence, right click and add a notify. What notify is like an event that gets called every time this animation plays over that frame. Calls the notify, and on that notify we can do certain actions. But one that's already built in is this play sound notify. So if I add that in, this is what I get, and then up here I can just select the sound cue that I want to play. So that is how basically all of the character sounds work. So I don't think there's any need to look at that. I thought it was a really nice way of doing it, instead of like just playing the sound of the location when something appears, which could be done as well. But I think this way is more consistent, and it works. It works across the board. Basically, all the character sounds are needed. So this one is the jump sound. And if we scrub across, we can see as we get to just about in the air, we hear this little grunt. So you hear that every time she jumps. I'll go to like my magic spell one now. So it's got like a few more sounds in it. So this one is when we get to here, it starts charging this. Well, actually, it just drops a particle effect on this first notify. Then we get here. Oh no, actually, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. What I've done here is another way of doing it, where I've actually used the basic notify, and then in the character blueprint I've showed how the notify can be used to actually call it down. So I'll go and look at that now in a second. But then over here I've put in the explosion. The explosion happened on the character animation, because I didn't see any reason for it not to happen there, as like the player's not going to know that. So it works fine for me. So that's when the rocks actually shoot up out of the ground, you hear that explosion. So I've timed that, I know that that's when that happens. Okay, moving swiftly forward, we'll open up my... So yeah, that covers basically all of the character sounds. So I'll just open up the character, which is this Mixamo Master character. So this one, let's have a look. This is our basic input stuff. Movement. So here we go. Here, look. So this one is one way that you could do it. So when you press the magic button, it gets your character, it sets this variable to say that you're now doing your magic attack. But then here, it also plays the sound here. So, oh, sorry, that calls that function. What it does. So I can go to that in a minute. Yeah, so what you want to do is in your character, you want to set the variable to say that you're doing your animation or whatever. That's mainly what that's for. That's just for animation. And then it goes in there, and it also calls this play spell sound. So play spell sound is over here, which is the function I set up. And the character has all of its sounds added in as audio components. And so this is just a function. Whenever that function is called, it will just call play on whatever one of these audio components you want it to play. Okay, so that one is working on a click. There's the charge one. Spawn charge. Yeah, that one's just... Yeah, okay, so what I have actually is I have the play sound notifies, playing all the sounds, and then I have other notifies to spawn like this particle effect, which I could have used to spawn particle and stuff, but I just wanted to have a look in and do it myself and see how it worked. So that's so in terms of difficulty, there's nothing difficult about this. You just simply you have your cues set up the way you normally would. So you import your WAV and then right click it, create a cue, and then you can manipulate the cue as you want. And take that into the character as an audio component, and then you just call the audio component if you want. This is what my audio folder looks like. It's nice and organized. So let's have a look. So in the character, I have at one point, as the foot hits the ground, it calls play a footstep sound. So actually I've changed it now, so it only calls the left footstep cue. But in that we have both the right footstep and the left footstep, and that goes into a random and then into a modulator. So it gives us that bit of dynamic feeling to it. And yep, so that's how a lot of my cues are set up. The ambient sound is the same, only it has bear, wolves, eagle, and then it goes into a random, goes into a modulator, and then it goes into a delay and looping as well. So there's no need to look at that simple stuff that we did in class. I have changed the values on some of these, so the pitch doesn't change very much, and then the volume has a bit more of a change. So it just kind of gives an effect that, there's a bit of change in it, but not too much that it sounds ridiculous. Just kind of breaks it up a little bit. Okay, I don't actually think that's basically how all the sounds work in my game. There's not really a whole lot in it in terms of complexity. Let's see here, right? So we looked at physics materials in class, and let me just show you this here. The way my landscape material is set up, because the assets that I chose to use from early on in the project, I wasn't actually able to have access to this physics material. The only way that this would work was if the whole, it's not set up as a weighted layer blends. It's just sorry. Just a second. It's set up with like multiple lerps and multiplies, so it just like